So we are going to start, and the first section on 8.4 says use the first two examples method to graph. Okay, so the first example, you have your f of x, which just means y, 3x squared minus 6x plus 5. So that is a quadratic equation in standard form. Now, there's some things that you need to look at this and just know. What is your a value? And what does that 3 tell you? Is it positive or negative? What is it being positive tell you?
Oh, it's going to be this way.
Yeah, it's going to be pointed up. Now, what does the 3 then do to your graph? Does it, from a parent function x squared, does it make it wider or more narrow? More narrow, it stretches it. That's a vertical stretch. Okay, so on the parabolas, we know it's going to be a parabola because it's a quadratic function, so we know when we graph it, it's going to be a parabola. You have to give me the vertex. The vertex is going to be made up of an x value and a y value. The x value is the, here, let me do this, A, B, C. Your opposite of B over 2A. So the f of the opposite of B over 2A and the opposite of B over 2A. In order, A, B, C. So it's got to be in standard form. So x equals the opposite of the B divided by 2 times the A value. B is a negative 6. So the opposite of a negative 6 is a positive 6. The A value is 3. 6 divided by 6 is 1. Are you okay with that?
Yes.
So I know my x value is 1. Now I need to do this f of 1, which is the f of the opposite of b over 2a. This is function notation. What do I do with it? Plug it into the original equation for the 1. For the x. Put the 1 in for the x. And you can use your calculators to do this. I hope you don't have to. This is my y value, the f of y. Here is my x. So my vertex is the point 1, 2. Are you okay with that? Now, I'm going to draw my put my vertex in. That's my point 1, 2. I'm going to label it. What's wrong?
What did you do on the second one?
This one?
Oh,
This one?
yeah.
I substituted 1 into the f of x function. Everywhere there's an x, I put a 1. I got the 1 from the opposite of b over 2a.
Why did you not square the 3?
Yeah, that's cool.
The orders of operation says to do exponents first. 1 squared is 1 times the 3. The 3 is not being squared because it's 3 times the x squared. 3 times 4. Yeah, the 3 is not being squared. The 3 is being multiplied by your value of x, and x is the only one being squared. Very good question.
To find x, you have to do negative b over 2n.
Yes.
And then to find y is f.
You put your x that you found into the function. So now we're going to do the axis of symmetry, which is your dotted line through the vertex. X equals 1 is the equation for the axis of symmetry. That is the x value of your vertex. It's the same thing. And now I'm going to pick a nice point. I like 0 because 0 makes everything that multiplies by it go away. And 0 plus or minus anything is just 0. So when I substitute a 0 into my equation, I get 5. This point is 0, 5. I am one space over from my axis of symmetry, so I'm going to go one space on the other side, and that point is 2, 5. I now have 2 points, and I try to make this curved. They are not straight lines. It's a parabola. I have 3 points, one of which is my vertex, and I'm done. So let's try the other example. On 2, we have f of x equals a negative x squared. What does the negative in front of the x squared do? It reflects it. It turns it upside down, a reflection over the x-axis. X equals the opposite of b over 2a. I am not going to give you that on the test. That is going to have to be memorized. So you might want to start and memorize it. The opposite of a negative is a positive. So 4 divided by negative 2 is a negative 2. That's my x value. So I'm going to go into my function and I'm going to replace all of the x's with the negative. And if you are typing these into your calculator, you need to put the negatives in parentheses. Negative 2 times a negative 2 is 4. Negative 4, a negative 4 times a negative 2 is 8. And I'm at negative 3. Are you okay with that? So the vertex, that is my opposite of b over 2a, I took that value and I put it into the function. So this is math notation that says to do that. Function notation. My vertex, when I did the opposite of b over 2a, is the negative 2. When I put the negative 2 into the function f, I got out a negative 3. Is that better? Make more sense? Negative 2, negative 3 is in the third quadrant. I'm going back to down 3. Negative 2, negative 3. I'm going to draw my dotted line, which is the axis of symmetry. X equals negative 2 is the equation for the axis of symmetry. I'm going to zoom this in just a little bit. And again, I'm going to put 0 in. If I put 0 into my function, you're going to get a negative 7. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7. 0, negative 7. 0, negative 7 is 2 spots from my axis of symmetry. So I'm going to go 2 spots to the left of my axis of symmetry. That point is negative 4, negative 7. Connect with curved lines, and you are finished.